Welcome to the fourth and final training module for Student Government's annual allocations. In this module, we'll take a look at the post-award steps, including an overview of potential funding results, how to review the committee's decisions, the process for appealing a decision, and what to do once you have your results. There are several funding strategies that the committee might employ when reviewing each of your individual events or budget items. An event may receive full funding, which is self-explanatory. The committee may also issue no funding for some events. Any event for which the committee feels the details are not fully developed might receive no funding. Additionally, once the committee has funded as much as they feel they are able of your highest priority budgets, your remaining lower priority event budgets may see no funding. This does not necessarily mean that you cannot get funding for these events, but rather that you will need to apply to SGFC next year for those events not funded by ANAL. Partial funding may also be employed. The committee may assign partial funding for specific line items if there are some components of your budget that they are unable to fund. You would need to fundraise or approach other sources to cover the unfunded line items. An example may be that for a mid-level priority panel event, they choose to fund the speaker travel, ensuring that you can hold the event, but ask you to seek alternate funding sources to add catering to the program. Partial funding with no line item detail is a way the committee provides seed funding for more costly events. For example, they may give $2,000 towards a $5,000 conference to help you get started with planning the event, and ask you to fundraise the remaining cost. In this case, they leave the distribution of funds up to your discretion within the line items that were proposed in the budget. If one of your event budgets receives funding from ANAL, the event becomes ineligible for funding from SGFC in the coming year. Each event or program is eligible to be presented for funding to either ANAL or SGFC, not both, as they are both drawn from the same pool of funds, simply allocated in different ways. There are two possible exceptions to this rule. The committee, when providing partial funding, may provide a note that once you've done some fundraising, you can apply to SGFC to help make up any final difference between your cost and your fundraising. Or, if your program sees a significant change in nature during the course of the next year, you could petition to SGFC for additional funds. Remember, this only applies to budgets that are funded. Budgets that do not receive funding from ANAL will be eligible to go to SGFC, provided that they fall within the committee's timeline and guidelines. To review the committee's decisions and any notes they've provided to the members of your budget team, you can log back into the RSO funding website on the posted decision date. It is important to note that any information you find in the system prior to the decision date may not be representative of the committee's ultimate decisions. To review the current year's decisions, open your Review Submit a Budget page, seen here, and click View Funding Request. From this page, you can review each of your budgets and the committee's decisions. Line item allocations and comments will appear, as well as the overall total for allocations that are final from the committee. Information about decisions in previous years is also available. From the Review Submit a Budget page, you can select View Past Budgets from the Budget Archive. This archive represents all of your ANAL submissions since the RSO funding website was launched. The committee does set aside funds for the review of appeals. If you feel the committee has misjudged your priorities, program needs, budget line items, or fundraising options, you will have the opportunity to appeal their decision. Appeals are due the week after the decisions become available and must be based on the original budget as submitted to the website. You can reach out to your advisor for support through the appeals process. Your statement of the appeal would be due to the committee chair by the posted due date. Once you have your final allocation, you begin to craft a plan to meet your additional fundraising needs and start to assign members of your event planning team their tasks. You can anticipate the deposit of your funds from annual allocations to be made into your account in September. We hope that you found these training modules useful. Please feel free to review them again throughout the application process. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to your advisor or the committee's representatives.